Hello, funny junk in YouTube. I think that it's finally time that we try handmade Damascus. Specifically raindrop pattern, which if you're not familiar, I'll put a picture up on screen now. I've got 3 billets of 1095 and 15 and 20 in alternating stacks. I don't have a welder, so I have to do this pretty much the only way I can, which is I have a long piece on bottom, and I have it just kind of wrapped with some baling wire. And I'm going to forge weld these down. That's a stack of 6. I'm going to do that 3 times. I'm going to clean these up, and then I'm going to attempt to forge weld these together. I'll draw them down a little bit, and then I'll probably cut it, clean it up, stack it again, and hopefully we'll end up with 72 layers. We'll see how that goes. I'm extremely nervous. I'm going to get the forge heated up, and then we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that's not working. The metal banding just slips right off. I have to figure something else out, so we'll be back. Okay, so after some time struggling, trying to figure it out, I'm going to attempt riveting it, or forge welding it with it riveted. Now that's mild steel. I'm just gonna say it's part of the pattern. Second billet riveted together, and we're about to start forge welding it. I got the 2 Damascus billets tied together, and I'm going to attempt to forge weld them. This is going to be kind of a big determining factor for the rest of this project. Cross your fingers. All of it worked, and we're at 12 layers. Alright, so we've got this much Damascus. It's a 12 layer billet. That is quite a bit smaller than the 72 layers I was kind of thinking I might do, but that was perhaps a bit ambitious. What we're going to do now is we're going to compress it this way so we draw it out some, and then flatten it just a little bit. Then I'll drill the holes for the raindrop Damascus, or not the holes, but the little pits in it, and then we'll flatten it one more time and it'll be done. We can do like a test edge and stuff at that point. Get the forge heated up, and we'll do that then.
it's ready for drilling. I'm very tired. Yeah, this step is basically just doing this to the entire billet in different sizes, so I'll be back. Alright, we're in the final stretch. Here's a billet, it's got the pits drilled into it. Now all I need to do is flatten it out, and it'll be ready for blade making. Whew, lot of steps. Took a tremendously long time, but as long as we don't screw it up now, should look really cool. Have actually quite a bit larger than I expected it would be, but it's also a lot thinner than I expected it would be, which makes me kind of nervous. First, what we need to do though is just kind of grind it flat on one side, and then we'll do our test edge, and the challenge build portion will be complete. At a later date, I'll actually make a blade out of it, but trying to make a blade out of it in 1 week, which is actually really just 2 days for me because I have work also, is a lot. And I don't want to like rush it and make it look like crap or anything, so we're just gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up on one side, and we'll test etch it and see kind of what we have. It isn't perfect by any stretch of the word, but we don't need it to be right now. We're just doing a quick test edge. Keep in mind, we may not actually see much pattern at all right now, if we see any, just because of the way that this billet is. It is, let's see, can you see? Yeah. It's stacked like layers of paper, and then you have the divots drilled out into it, and then it's flattened. So we might see some of those like circles, but we probably won't see any like layers really, because you'll probably see the layers and stuff more whenever I start grinding the edge of the knife. But I don't know. I did do a lot of cross peen upsetting onto it when I was stretching it out, which may have altered the level of the layers, but I just don't know yet. We'll see kind of what it looks like. I'm going to wash it off in the sink really well, and then we'll edge. Let's see what we have so far, or if we have anything so far. Okay. There it is, cleaned up with a bit of oil on it to help protect it, because my goodness, I don't want this to rust or anything before I get to it. Got some pits and stuff. Like, I think that's actually a drill mark that like I just think is maybe a little too deep to grind out, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do about that. I might try to make this the bevel edge, that way I hopefully grind through it, but you can see the layers like that, and in multiple spots. And again, the contrast is bad right now because it's unhardened, but you can even see the 1095 is right here, and the 15 and 20, which is the light steel, is right there. And the mild steel is like crazy light, which I find really funny. So that's really cool. It worked better than I expected, especially after the first billet did not work at all. And I was immediately like, oh no, what have I gotten myself into? But it turned out okay. It's not nearly the layer count I was wanting, but I mean, it's also my first Damascus, and I guess I'm doing it by hand, so you know, without a welder also. So not too bad, given the circumstances, but yeah, all in all, I'm pretty happy with it so far. And I think it'll make a nice knife if the thinness doesn't give me issues, because it is really thin. It's like worryingly thin. I might try to make a Tonto out of it. I might try to make something like a I think it's called a Nikiti, but a or Nikiri if you're extremely American. Just like a little kitchen knife type thing. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna look at it and kind of try to feel it out because I want to really maximize the visibility of the layers, but I also want to kind of like work with the metal too because the shape of it is so thin already. I'll probably know once I start grinding on it more. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I'll quit rambling now. I've been going on for like 16 minutes. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more like it and stuff, you can like and subscribe and all that. I appreciate it a whole lot. If you don't like the video, that's fine too. Still be cool if you liked it maybe. This was a lot of effort. But yeah. If you want to be a part of the next challenge build, then you can check out my Patreon. It's in the description. I let my Power Hammer tier patrons vote every other month on a poll, and I'll make the winning design or project or whatever. It's sometimes forging, sometimes it's woodworking, sometimes it's like engraving type stuff. Like it's, you know, I try to keep it interesting if I can. But yeah, if you like that stuff, do all the things, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching.